It's a chilly London morning, although the sun is out, and there's an extra ray of brightness in South London as the Cycle Hire scheme has just extended again, this time to the south, bringing bikes to Brixton for the first time.
Well, this is fantastic. We've got 200 new docking stations in Brixton. It fills in a big gap of the network and expands the great facilities for all the people who live in this area, allowing them to cycle more in London.
The 7 new docking stations extend the Cycle Hire area to the south from Kennington down the Brixton Road and make a handy connection with the Tube and National Rail stations too. This brings the Cycle Hire scheme's totals up to 11,500 bikes available to hire at 21,000 docking points, which are spread over 780 docking stations across London. And we always wondered, how does a docking station get installed anyway? Fortunately, there was someone on hand to tell us.
So they dig down to about 400 millimetre depth. They'll dig a long trench. You can kind of roughly see the trench where they've reinstated here. What it needs is to be cabled up to each other. So they lay some ducts as well between all of these docking points, is what these are called. So all of these docks are all cabled together in one long daisy chain, and they feed power and data between each other back to that terminal over there. And then the terminal itself has got a modem with a SIM card in it, which it communicates all the data back out, and it's powered to a feeder pillar, which is back over there, so it's off the mains. So it's all connected up, sending data over the airwaves, all concreted into the ground, and that's kind of how it works. When you hire, it sends the signal back down the chain to the terminal, which then sends it back out to the system, and you've got your hire. So as you can see, the foundation type on the footway is slightly different design to the foundation type which is on the carriageway. That's because as a result of our surveys, found some shallow surfaces underneath this section, which means that we had to use a shallower foundation. So we only had to dig down to 200 mil this side, whereas we dug down to 400 mil on this side. So that's why you can see the foundation type slightly different, but still looks nice and neat and fits in with the character of the rest of the footway.
We have an original and a brand new generation bike.
Now, a few weeks ago, we dropped in on the Cycle Hire depot to try out a new bike that the Cycle Hire scheme was about to launch. You can watch that video here. But since then, how have those new bikes been working out?
So these are new bikes. These are bikes that are produced in the UK by Peshley's. These are a new version of the bikes. Old bikes are still perfectly okay. These are just the new bikes, got some new enhancements. They're slightly smaller. Taking feedback from people who said the other ones, for some people, they were a little bit too heavy and big. So these are 24-inch wheel, new enhanced lighting systems. Really popular since we've launched. We've now got 600 out in the scheme, and we're finding that people are searching them out and using them just to find out how good they are, and they're getting an awful lot of use.
The map on the TfL website shows you where all the docking stations are. All the new Brixton ones are on there. Well, you can also sign up here for a key which you can use to make a hire rather than having to type in a code each time, something that the local Brixton councillor will be doing.
So I'm absolutely delighted today to actually finally have 7 docking stations, which amounts to 209 bikes, and I just think this will give people access to inexpensive cycle hire, and I think that will encourage people to take up cycling, to have a go, just, I don't know, do some shopping on a bike.
Overall, we're thrilled to see the Cycle Hire scheme expanding and hope that it continues to expand in London even more.
And what's so exciting about this is that we're getting record numbers of people using these bikes. January was a record month, and last year over 10.6 million people used Santander cycles to enjoy getting around the city. So we've got an amazing scheme here. It's fantastic to see this expanding to Brixton, and I look forward to seeing many more people using it in the future.